I'm smiling because it's just so funny how someone can intrude your energy and then have you all in your head. So this is kind of what I do on Shadow Work Diaries, so I'm gonna do it now. We all know the story about my kid's dad and kind of how I was in that uncomfortable situation, and I was like living with him, but we broke up, and I need to find somewhere to go. But he also helped me move out of the place that I established and had established, sell all of my things. So it was kind of his responsibility as well to give me enough time to get my stuff together for the sake of me and my kids. Or, like he suggested multiple times, he could just help me find a place and he would pay and help us get furniture. But every time that became like a solution, he would renege or recant. So it just was on me. He basically told me that he was gonna break the lease randomly one day, and he assured me that I would have until the end of June to get my stuff together. And I told him that my goal was to move by the beginning of June. So June 1st, which was also my birthday, he comes in the house and he starts moving everything. Me and my kids end up going to a hotel room, and shortly after, one of the apartments that denied me ended up telling me that it was fine and that I could come and stay there. Look at God, okay? But again, everything was contingent on these apartments, their availability, and things of that nature. So had he been planning to move on my birthday, he could have also allowed me to know that something had shifted within the time frame so that I could prepare, because me and my kids were important as well. And none of these times did he suggest that he would get them and then I can just go kind of fend for myself for like a week or so, because I was literally just pending for apartments to approve us. I had spent the money up front, application fees and admin fees. I was just waiting for someone at this point, just for anyone, to let us move within that time frame before, we needed to go. So anyways, all of that happened. I feel like I'm just very mature, and I feel like I'm creating this because at times I need to tell myself that I'm valid. A lot of times these masculine energies that we're attached to, and vice versa, could try to project a certain energy based off of guilt, manipulation, or power, that you're not valid for the boundaries that you're setting. But I'm definitely fucking valid. So with that being said, once we went to the room and we end up finding somewhere to stay, I went to go pick up some of my things, well, all of our things from his house. Many were trashed, a TV broken. A lot of my children were missing shoes, so they would have the left shoe but not the right shoe. A lot of our stuff was just mishandled. And I understand he was trying to clear house, but again, we could have been more prepared had we known that, June 1st was the actual deadline. So when I did ask him to kind of watch the kids for a little bit so that I can get my stuff, and I have like a little SUV, so it's easier to move things without two car seats in the back than with two car seats. But that same time, he went and traveled. He told me that he was out of town or whatever. So I handled it, and I got all of my shit with me and my kids. And on the last day, my dad helped me with the bigger things. Come to find out, one of the TVs were broken. Again, we were missing a lot of different clothes and items, and he took all of the kitchen stuff, which a lot of that kitchen stuff was mine. And I just let him have it. They also had a bunk bed I let him have as well, and we started over. I did not complain. Shortly after that, it was Father's Day, and I just felt like I didn't want to be bitter, so I extended the olive branch to let the girls go over there for Father's Day. Upon them going over there for Father's Day, they enjoyed themselves. I told them that I messaged him and I told him, as long as we can be mature and this can be the energy, I don't care what's happened between us, because this is not the first rodeo. He put me out last year after I found out that he was married to someone, that he had us let our apartment go and then move in with him, get rid of our things again. and move in with him. And when I found it, I lost it. And in result, I was put out. Thank God my kids weren't in town, but we were separated longer than expected because I had to get my shit together. And then this year, I go and do the same dumbass shit. We're in the same situation. So at this point, it's like I take accountability. I understand the cycles, but if we could be mature and do exchanges like this in regards to the kids, we can always be in this energy. So everything was good. And then comes July, he messages me one day and he tells me that, when we were staying together, it was very ugly times, very toxic times. One of the times he actually told me that if it wasn't for my kids, like he would kill me. And so it was very nasty. And we said a lot of things and exchanged a lot of words that are not positive. And so he basically told me that I wished all of his businesses would fail. I didn't wish it. I prophesied it. And I told him, when you do things crooked and when you do things with ill intention, things fall. I also explained to him that everything that he's created has been created on a warped foundation. And that was just beyond our relationship. Like, I literally just prophesied to him one morning because on Easter, he had butt dialed me. We spent Easter together, not like in a relationship, but we were able to co-parent. We went to his grandma's house and everything. And that night, knowing, the detriment that I was experiencing living in a house with someone that I wasn't with and was intentionally trying to let me know that he was doing other things. He butt dialed me with a girl in the car and basically was like flirting and out and pimping or whatever he was doing or whatever. So that next morning I got up and I basically told him about himself. I told him about how nasty he treats his mom and how entitled and mama's boyish she was, how she was doing so much stuff, preparing their room, helping us put the beds together, setting things up, and he wouldn't even speak to her. Like, he was just being so nasty. I also talked to him about his other kids' mom and how why their dynamic was the way that it was. And, the same situation would occur with us if he didn't understand that he was creating trauma and being so nasty and vindictive to hurt me. But like, you have to co-parent with me. And if we have a relationship where I don't trust you, where you've hurt me, intentionally have threatened me, it makes it sticky territory when it comes to keeping it about the kids, because I'm also keeping it about my safety and protecting my energy as well. You know what I mean? So regardless of what you're doing in regards to the kids, if it negatively affects me or if you're trying to abuse your power to affect me. So anyway, I explained all of those things to him, and he messaged me in July and basically it was like everything that I was saying was coming to fruition and he had lost it and blah, 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 blah. He also texted me from a text now number soliciting sex. And after telling me that his businesses were failing and that he wouldn't be able to do as much for the kids, you're soliciting sex from another number and asking to pay for it. And I know it was him because I always used to tell him that this was his. So when I asked him from the text now number, who is this? And he was like, that whatever, he indicated what I be saying when we do it. And we hadn't did it for months. And it was inappropriate to me, especially because I'm healing. I'm letting you see your kids. So I didn't understand why he would cross the line and speak like that to me. I felt disrespected, but I let it go. And he had plans for them to go out of town. I knew that they would be going out of town, not only with him, but with his other child's mom, that he typically, if he's not with me, he's going to be with her. So cool. I sent him messages, lining out their dates and stuff like that. So even though on a personal level, I'm extremely still hurt by certain things that he said, because this wasn't just someone I was with. This was somebody that I was loved. Like this is somebody that I loved. We were just like weeks before before our breakup, talking about looking at Zillow houses and planning our future. You know what I mean? We got into it about spaghetti and it spiraled into you saying that if it wasn't for my kids, that you would kill me. So although I'm still processing certain things, I feel like I've been very mature because I still let them go with you. I still let them go with the same person that you had a kid on when you with. And I'm not taunting you. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm letting you pick up your kids. And every time we have a positive interaction, I'm giving you positive feedback, as well as when we have negative interactions, because a problem that had occurred was him not being very honest about the timing, right? And I do hair and I have an unconventional schedule. So if you tell me that we're going to meet by a certain time, I'm accommodating that time. So if you're 30 minutes late, if you're 15 minutes late, if you're 20 minutes late, these are things that sometimes cannot be avoided, but just communicate these things with me so that I could plan, you know what I mean? Or shift my schedule. As well as at the time I am pregnant, okay? And it's an unconventional pregnancy. I'll tell y'all about that later. But I shouldn't have to tell him that, and I didn't express that to him. So it's not his baby. So he doesn't know the certain things that my body, and I gotta pee. Now I gotta sit and pee in the gas station because you 30 minutes late or 20 minutes late or running behind, so these are all things that were bothering me and that I was expressing, but he was still not respecting. So anyways, he was supposed to have them from Tuesday to Thursday. However, I had some legal issues that I needed to handle on Friday, and then he wasn't able to get them on Tuesday because he said something about him having car problems, which was probably bullshit, and he just couldn't. But I adjusted to the last minute change, and I just asked him, would he at least be able to keep them on Thursday as well, so I can handle my legal stuff on Friday, and immediately I would come and get them. He told me that he wasn't going to be able to have them on Thursday because he needed to work or whatever, but he would get them Friday morning. And I just told him, please let me know if something changes, because there had been a time before where he was 35 minutes late, and I almost got in trouble for not being on time for my legal responsibilities. And so I just told him that. So when he had them, I outlined everything, their clothes, everything that they needed. And we had an agreement about me coming to get them on Thursday. I stayed up Thursday because I do TikTok lives and stuff like that. Stayed off of TikTok live because I'm waiting for him to let me know a time. And I've never wanted to be conditioning him by meet me at this time, come get this time. But for my peace and my sanity, and if I see that you're not on open communication and adult time, then I will do that. You know what I mean? But at that time, I left it kind of in the bag, and he never reached out. So I was like, damn, okay, I guess they're spending the night. So end up getting on TikTok. I made my obligations, my legal obligations, and then I told him that I was available whenever he was available. He rescheduled. I rescheduled one time because I asked him if he was available and if he was free, because I was trying to price the girls a bed. Could we push it back an hour? He said cool. And we scheduled it for a particular time. The girls in the neighborhood wanted to see the girls because they hadn't seen my kids all weekend. So I told them that I would get everybody McDonald's, and before it got too dark, that we would meet at the park. So when it's time for me to come pick up the girls urgently, he's like, oh, well, give us another hour. And at this time, it's getting later. We rescheduled. We met a time. We stuck to that time for a few hours. It's time to pick up. I've already set up plans with these little girls in the neighborhood. It's time for the girls to come home. And so he met me, accommodated me, whatever. But I had an attitude because I'm sitting there in the gas station, and then he's late. And when I'm messaging him, he's not responding. But then he tells me that he's on the way, whatever. Mind you, I'm going out of my way to meet him, not even 5 minutes from where he is. I'm traveling 45 minutes to meet him, not only 5 minutes from where he is. I'm messaging him every step of the way so that there's no room for miscommunication. I'm telling him, hey, I'm coming. Hey, I had to stop and get gas. Hey, I'm 5 minutes away from the Joe V's, which is close to the pickup spot. At any time, he could have told me, hey, our daughter lost her shoe. I'm running a little bit behind. Then I might not have been speeding. I could have had a little bit of peace of mind. If I needed to go to the potty, I could have stopped somewhere cleaner. But I'm just sitting in the parking lot, and I'm waiting. And then he's like, I call him. He ignores the call. And so I'm annoyed because it's I'm 5 minutes from your location, and you're late. You know what I mean? And then there is no communication. So anyway, I have an attitude with him. when I pick them up, because it's just like, damn, I'm already triggered because yesterday you could have told me that you would be watching them. Instead, you wanted me to ponder and wonder. And then today you accommodated me, and then I accommodated the time that you prefer for them to leave. But now you're not communicating when it's coming to pick up. And then when I end up getting the girls in the car, I'll get home and I see that my daughter, the youngest daughter, he has 5 kids and they were all together. The youngest daughter has a bruise here, here, and here, and nobody said anything to me. You didn't communicate nothing to me, and then upon pickup you didn't say anything. And when I reach out to you, you tell me that they're kids and it could be a possible allergic reaction, which medical care should have definitely been sought out. If it was something that you thought was an allergic reaction, then it was horseplay, which still rubs me wrong because the oldest is 11 or 12, I don't know at this time, but 11 or 12, and then the other youngest is her age. So it's a plethora, a variety of ages, and you're telling me that they were horseplaying to where she doesn't just have one random bruise, but 1, 2, 3. She's not coming over. This is too much. Not only have I turned the other cheek with the out of line request and solicitation for paying me for sex, then I've been turning the cheek in every other area. And then now you want to withhold information about if something has happened to my children because they're children and you would never try to harm them. We're building and reestablishing trust. And that was their first time staying with him for more than one night ever. And then that was also their first time for like 2 years spending the night with him. And then after everything that had occurred. So like, yeah, you have me fucked up and I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm accommodating. I'm not throwing everything that's occurred in your face. I'm letting you get the girls. And just the same way that I praise you when things go well, I'm going to talk to you when things aren't going well. They're not old enough to talk. Picture me asking a 2-year-old at the time, a freshly 4-year-old at the time, what happened to my daughter's face. And as an adult, I can't come to you and ask you what happened to her face. And as I know, things happen, horseplay occurs. My offense grew when he sat up there and was acting as if it was just not a problem because she wasn't dead. And then he also threw in the fact that accidents happen. She shit on herself while she was over here, as if he's like trying to dig at the fact that she wasn't fully potty trained yet. You knew that she wasn't fully potty trained yet. Shitting on herself, and you're supposed to be upholding her potty training and making sure that she's frequently going to the restroom. That only indicates that you weren't being diligent with that. And that's nothing similar or relatable to her having bruises on her face. A potty training 2-year-old shitting on herself and under your care, under your structure and your routine while she was with you overnight, which she doesn't do here, versus her coming back with bruises is not relatable. So I blocked him, right, to protect my pregnancy, to protect my peace, and because he's obviously not willing and aware to be adult enough to communicate about the little things, and it causes inconvenience to me and concern to me. So I went MIA, and then randomly I got a message. He did message me some threatening messages on Facebook at one point in time, trying to throw up the $400 child support that he sends. You send $400 child support for 2 children, and we just recreated and rebuilt our life from the bottom up. I'm not praising you for that. I'm not. And so I told him that until respect could be built and until communication could be respectable, stop messaging me. So randomly, I got a message from my daughter's school that we were going to be having a disco father party. So I sent him that. I felt like that would be a healthy median to start reestablishing contact and to, there's a time and date set aside and you either come or you don't. All that I asked him was if he wasn't coming, let me know in advance because I would have taken her. That went well. I messaged him afterwards, appreciation and gratitude for that. And I let him know that the next time that he was wanting to get them to let me know in advance advance so I can make accommodations and make sure that I don't have anything planned. Because what's not going to happen is me wait for his random interactions and my children miss out on experiences with classmates, other family members that prioritize them and want to spend time with them, or things that I may have to create to as a sitter, or other things as I do my daily activities. So if you let me know in advance, it could either aid me and I could be like, okay, well, while they over there, I'm gonna just stack and do appointments, or I know not to plan anything during the. So he messages me and he's like, "Oh, I got the girls' clothes." Well, he asked me, "Do they need clothes?" Like, of course they need clothes. At this time, we had lost a lot of their clothes in the move, and they hadn't got any clothes from him since Christmas. Okay, this is October. October, November. Yeah, this is October. So of course they need clothes. So I think like when I don't show thrill that he's like stepping up, like he gets offended. But you're not doing this for me. You're doing this because that's your obligation for them. And I didn't ask you. That's something you're convicted about because you asked about it. So he links up with us to get the clothes or whatever. I mean, to drop off the clothes, which was great. He bought a lot of great things. And I sent him messages telling him that he did his big one. You know what I mean? That's what you get. I don't know what else you want me to do. Fucking drop my drawers and give it to you, or fucking invite you. Like, I don't know what you want. I told you did a great job. And so my daughter's birthday was approaching and I tried to expect the worst. Or prepare for the worst and be surprised by the best, especially when it comes to people like him. So for my daughter's birthday, we didn't wait around expecting, for him to make plans or anything like that. We simply, still did our own thing, and glad that we did, because he didn't message the week before the actual date of her birthday. And this is the third year that he's done this. He's done this every single birthday for my youngest daughter's birthday, which really offends me because I already feel like my children get the bottom of the barrel based off of who he's with. He chooses to prioritize his anyway. So I took offense to it, but I let it flow. He messages me days after her birthday and he asked if he could do something with them the upcoming weekend. That was a no, because we had family that intentionally planned coming into town, and it wasn't fair that on one of their last days to see the girls that they would be with their dad all day. So I told him at that time, no, that he wouldn't be able to get them, but if he let me know in advance the time and the date again, that I can accommodate something for the following weekend. And I feel like that made him feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, am I wrong if we have family and friends that intentionally selected a time in advance to value my daughters and celebrate their day? And as a father, you didn't message me the weekend before or the week before to let me know about accommodations or acknowledge her birthday, or until a few days before the weekend. It's not wrong for me to have that boundary of no. You know what I mean? And so I told him that the following weekend he could get them from 9 to 7, which was more time than he had the last time. And that helps us kind of build this energy of maybe they can start spending back the night and stuff like that, but consistency on your behalf. Because my girls, after moving from a big house to an apartment, from mommy and daddy to just mommy, they were very confused. And although we were not seen, so he wasn't there having to heal the things that they were experiencing. One of my daughters has she pulls her hair out. She was confused about daddy. And this is the same daughter that when they got back in town after we lost everything and they were finally able to come back, she was so scared to go towards him. So like she literally would be like, mommy, when he tried to pick her up. So after healing that with her and then stripping yourself away from the equation again and not considering them, his goal wasn't to take care of them. We lived in the same house for 4 months, not together. Well, 3 months, not together. And he took them to Chuck E. Cheese once and to McDonald's twice. He put them on the bottom of the barrel. And then we transitioned and moved, and I allowed them to start building up that bond again. And then he broke it quickly, but with his immaturity and lack of communication. So he didn't see a lot of the shifts that my baby was going through. And that is why I'm not playing with you. Like, at the end of the day, that comes from anxiety. That comes from being in a household, a weird ass energy, a weird ass household. You letting your guard down to your dad and craving him, and then him giving you bits and pieces of his energy to prove a point to mommy, whether that's what he wants to admit or not. That's exactly what he's doing. And I know that's what he's doing because every single time we get back together, he tells me and admits to these same behaviors that he's exhibiting now, and his intentions behind them, and how flawed they were, and how he is emotionally abusive. So what you will not do is devalue what I know, and what it's taken me a long ass road to come to an understanding, but I know what you're doing. And you're not gonna fucking play with my mind when I'm trying to be strong for my children. I'm pregnant with another child. I do not have to subject myself to that, and I will not subject myself to that. And I am 100% valid for the boundaries that I set. So when he came to come and get them for this next meeting, it was for Rain's birthday. We established that they would go at a certain time. I can't remember if it was 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and I would come get them at 7. I'm not able to focus the whole time because I love my girls. They spend all day with me. That's what we do. Like, literally, we make content. We enjoy one another. They get on my damn nerves sometimes, but I love them. And when they're here, I know that they good. You know what I mean? I know what's going on. I'm not anxious about meetup and what's going to occur and if there's going to, you know what I mean? So when they were gone, I couldn't even focus. I set up plans so that we can go to this little place when they get back, this little this backyard place. It's like a food truck place. And at 6 o'clock, right before 7, he messages me that they're just sitting down to eat, and that can we push the time back? To me, again, you're not respecting the boundaries, because had there been an issue with the times that I set, of course, spending the night, I told him I'm not ready until we can simply communicate. If my baby has a bruise on her face, if something occurs, if there's a shift in time or location or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, those are things that I need to be able to be easily communicated between us. Because like I said, I'm not doing no tripping. I don't do tripping until you're being secretive and weird, right? And like I've said, I have proof and understanding, because you've confessed to these behaviors before of wanting power and wanting to do things and operate in a certain energy. So we're not going to do that. So I told him, no, I don't like you messaging me at 6 o'clock. If you wanted to plan dinner or something like that, I wouldn't have had a problem with you meeting them at 8:30, or 8:40, or negotiating that time. But they're not spending the night, and now we have plans for after the meetup. So no. And he goes into expressing that he's not able to see them often. Sir, nobody said you can't see them often. You don't want to respect my boundaries. Had he been intentional and been consistent and been getting them like at least 5 times, and we have good communication and nothing is going on, they could have been spending the night. What you're not gonna blame me for, I've never required anything from you. The broken TV, didn't ask for you to replace it. Their clothes and stuff, I've been replacing them. Whatever you offer and whatever you choose to do is what I allow you to do. So you cannot be upset with me because of your lack of choice. That's a you problem. I feel like any other men and any men that I talk to, I'm moving and operating with integrity and fairness. And if you really wanted to be on a mission to have your children more consistently and for them to spend the night, then you would make more attempt to reconnect with them so that things could be a safe space. These are not the same 2 little girls that you knew when they were living in your house. One of them busy. She was peeing on the floor and shitting in the trash can. I'm not just going to let them push them into an environment and you don't know that these things are going on. And how do you know that these things are going on? Not from me just giving you a list of everything that's going on, but from you spending time with them diligently, relearning them and refitting into their days and schedules, and then they can spend the night. But until then, fuck no. And I don't feel like I'm wrong. period. But this is my talk to myself so that I know that I am valid. And if you can relate to anything, let me know. But I feel like I said all of this to say it because he messaged me on Thanksgiving Eve. Do they need tablets? He had just messaged me a month ago asking me that, or a few weeks ago asking me that, and I told him yes. It's almost like at this point you want me to acknowledge the fact that you're trying to get them tablets. The gag is my mom and her husband was going to get them tablets. The gag is my granny then said, well, my mom can get one of the tablets and she can get the other one. The only reason why I need to know if you're really going to do it or if you're not, because if you're not going to do it, it's still going to get the fuck done. You asked me, did they need them? I told you yes. Yes, you're messaging me about this on Thanksgiving Eve. Mind you, Thanksgiving Eve is the Thanksgiving last year was the time that he messaged me after being in a relationship with the girl that he's in a relationship now. I just miss my family and I should be able to talk to you and tell you that, and I want to help you get the girls back and everything else. That had me go right back to his ass. So no, my boundaries are blocked, and it's like you're not messaging me on Thanksgiving Eve to see the girls or not even to ask me about do they have plans this weekend or can you set up something this weekend? So I let him know that Christmas we will be out of town. And so this would be the perfect time to start letting me know what he has going and planned, because he could either get them Christmas before or afterhand or maybe for New Year's. But let me know, because if you don't plan shit, I'm not going to sit around here and strip them of experiences and plans because we waiting and twiddling our thumbs for you. Like, make it the fuck make sense. And in turn, he sends me this message. I need to see my kids and consistently be there in every other weekend or every weekend or whatever it is. But I want to be there and they need both of their blood parents in their life. That's up to you. That's up to you. And stop mentioning the child support that you send, because that's an agreement you made with the government. And even before I put him on child support, I tried to talk to him about it. My mom tried to talk to him about it. And he told me to take it up with the courts. And this was during COVID when they needed health care. And I was paying out of pocket $300 a month for just me and one of them. So you're damn right you on child support. You don't want to be communicative, but then you want to judge me for not communicating. Not doing it. I'm valid. I'm fucking valid. I'm fucking strong. I'm fucking mature as fuck. And although, yes, there are still things that are this was an emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive relationship. He choked me on 2 separate occasions. And both of those occasions, he told me why he had to do that to me. No accountability. So yes, there are still things regardless of, and I told him during the time he was doing this, you're cultivating this environment. There are still things that on a personal level definitely do affect how we co-parent. And in no way are you intentionally trying to facilitate a healthy environment. Last thing, I do not care that he is with his other kid's mom. Okay, he's always told me that if I'm not with you, I'm gonna be with another child of my whatever, mother of my child, whatever. And he's told her the same thing. Whatever. What the fuck ever. I let my kids go out of town with them. I knew that she was gonna be there. I let them go out of town with them. But he intentionally, this last time during meetup, parked all the way on the other side of the parking lot and carry my kids' car seats into the car to hide the fact that she's there. My kids are very open. We have a very open environment. They get in the car and they tell me, of course, I ask them, so how was everything? What y'all do? Because he doesn't tell me, not even to plan their outfits will he tell me what they had planned, right? And if he does, then I know, but so I'm asking them, so what did y'all do? How was it? And they're telling me, and she's mentioned, I have no issue with it. None. Any woman that's willing to take care of my children, show them love and accommodate them when I'm not in the room, kudos to you, baby girl. And that's nothing different than what I did when I was in her position. So I have no issue with her at all. My issue is the secrecy behind her being around. When we're trying to create trust, That makes me feel like, are you ever putting them in a compromising position where you're telling them and teaching them the standard of lying to mommy? Don't tell mommy this, withhold this from mommy, because that's not what we're doing. We're all a community, period. And this is the exact same thing that I told him when the shoe was on the other foot. That girl don't want her baby to come over here because she knows that you're lying. She knows that you're withholding the energy of me being here. And it's not for you to go and big dog her and, yeah, my girl is at the house. But this is that under any co-parenting situation, especially the history of you going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it only brings healing for you communicating that matter of fact, that elephant in the room. So for you to intentionally go out of your way, and even when I've tried to tell him before, I have no issue with the girl being in the picture. Like, it's cool because I feel like it's important for you to know I'm not bitter, I'm open. I want that woman, if she noticed a bruise on my babies or if something happened, to feel free to tell you, or for you to tell me, or if an emergency happens, y'all don't feel like y'all have to hide that she was there, because that is not what's up. But it's like you want to play games, and I'm not in that energy. We're all adults. We're all a community. And all that fake ass, weird ass shit is going to go out the window. So when I did confront it and tell him that I know that I don't know what you're talking about, I just live with my mom. Like, you're intentionally being deceptive. Intentionally. Period. About it is, I know there's this projection of, well, you're pregnant. First of all, this was not a planned pregnancy. My baby is a product of non-consensual intercourse, and it's a blessing. Don't want to talk about it. Please don't comment about it. Whoever made it here, you get the gem, whatever. I'll talk about it more in Shadow Work Diaries, but no man is around my children. And there's also not history of that type of behavior, of back and forth and confusion around my kids. So all I'm asking for is clear movement forward, so that when I drop them off, it's not a feeling or a what's gonna happen or a negative. It should just be clear. And that's what I'm aiming for, and that's all that I'm accepting. Just because I'm your baby mama does not mean that I am susceptible or that I have to put myself through certain situations that trigger me, or where I feel like you're abusing your power or trying to create chaos energetically. I'm not doing it. I will not do it. I'm not doing it with any man, and I will not do it with you. And that's that on that. But I love y'all. That was my TED Talk. And I had to just tell myself that I'm valid, because I sent a message yesterday, but it's like I reread it, and it's so much stuff that I didn't include. And it's just like, sometimes I feel like if I don't include everything, that he's not gonna get it. But no, I said it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. There is many text messages that prove everything that I'm saying. So sometimes you just got to tell yourself that you're valid, because they have to make you invalid in their mind to escape their convictions and their conscience. And you're not putting that on me. It's a you problem. I'm giving you the ability to choose everything that you want to bring to the table, and you're not choosing to do much. So your lack of choice does not fall on me. That's on you, my love. We over here operating and thriving to the best of our capacity with what we have. And we're not twiddling our thumbs waiting for you to pop up or to love bomb them with clothes and shoes or an experience. Be consistent. And that consistency, as long as you tell me the time and the date, we good.